This is a FouAVO Studio podcast.
Yo. Welcome to episode 3 of Not Fully There with Dion Davis. Today's episode is about creativity, or the fact that everybody is stealing ideas and they're basically claiming as their own. And before we get anywhere, this is the beat that's playing in the background is the Neptunes type beat. It's called What You Like, and it's produced by TAC4. Check them out on YouTube. Decent beats. Before we get into everything, all I need is about 20 minutes of your time. Each episode is about 20 minutes. It's available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio, and I think the Amazon right now. But later down the line, I'm gonna try my best to get some type of structure on this podcast. I have an idea to have new music pretty much every single episode to introduce, songs, but at the same time, I don't know if I can use a lot of music since my podcasting host is Spotify. I can use music on Spotify, but I'm not sure if it still works when it comes to iHeartRadio and Amazon and all the other stuff. But let's get into it. Oh my god. So this week, usually when I record these podcasts is every Wednesday and Saturday, I record a few. And then I let it fester. I listen to a few over and over again, and then do a little more research just to make sure that I'm talking about some type of factual stuff. A little bit of a redaction about the stuff I explained about Colleen Ballinger last episode. Apparently, the whole CD Baby thing, with her song on Apple Music, she didn't do it. Her lawyers, that's what the lawyer says. Some troll did it. But later down the line, I'm gonna make an episode about trolls and that type of culture, because I didn't used to be a troll, but I used to frequent 4chan a lot, and 4chan is a trolling site. Also, I've noticed in the last few episodes, I have been a really bad potty mouth. Ooh wee. I've been a really bad potty mouth. I'm gonna slow down on it a little bit, because it was a little bit difficult to pick clips from this episode and promote it on the podcast, promote it on the internet without doing extra work by censoring. I was not going through all of that. I try my best to keep my shows 100% me, 100% genuine. I don't want to get to the point where I'm having to cater to the general audience. That's not me. But that's where today's episode is about. Nobody has originality anymore. There is this culture that everybody has always been stealing ideas and taking it for their own. So before I got into this podcast, I was scrolling through it at one point, TikTok and Reels and all the other stuff. Originally, this episode was about the whole new Vine-esque content that we've been consuming pretty much every day, and mainly for the past few years now. These short form videos that somehow just scroll through and pop up on our feed, and we absorb it like a sponge. And what that does, it helps people get money, helps them with further their career, yada yada yada. And then you got those people who are literally just seeing things that are doing okay, but they have a better following. So what they do is they either take it from, for example, a black creator, and then a white creator, or someone who is like not white but of a certain skin color that is almost close to that complexion, and might go ahead and take that video for their own and put it on internet like Spotify and Apple, and go ahead and content claim that person's original video and to make money from it. It's this whole weird thing that everybody is just stealing content, and that's the thing that people do. you can say the first person who decided to make a podcast, which was way before any of us started making podcasts, because podcast is almost close to a radio format, and also close to talk radio and all the other stuff. This has always been around for years. People have always been given an opportunity to talk to a microphone like I'm doing right now, record it and upload it to a media source. Either it's TV, radio, and then the internet. Now you have all these streaming sites. It's like, this is like the biggest like scam. Okay, I'm not saying podcasts in general is a scam, but this is the best way where people can literally just say anything they want, get their socks off, and then basically make themselves famous out of it, or make themselves somehow make people aware of their topics that they're talking about, just to get the word around. That's the purpose of audio, video, and photography. Those are the most closest forms of people stealing those ideas and people stealing those creative works to claim for their own, or somehow jank it up and make it look like themselves, make it good for themselves. That's why Photoshop exists, Illustrator, all those other photo apps. You have iMovie, you have Final Cut, you got Adobe Premiere, you got Adobe whatever, After Effects, or all, not After Effects, you got Apple After Effects, all the other stuff. You have those applications where people can use to manipulate original content and to make it their own, and basically benefit from it if the original poster or the original creator of anything didn't go through the process to fully copyright their product. And I feel like half of the time that's just due to people lack of originality. Some people may lack the creativity and inspiration, but you know, I in my case, I try my best to not create things that the same people are doing. That's why with this podcast, 100% random, it's a uncensored, a unfiltered podcast. It's just myself, my friends, talking to the microphone, having great conversations, and then posting it on the internet. Now, there is many different contents like that on the internet. That's been that way before I even started doing this podcast shit. Okay? But it has always been, people find ways to either find success and find the right niche, or they steal that person's idea once they found that niche, and then they continue on and then they'll continue on and they'll go ahead and try their best to make sure that they are the one on top now. For example, Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast went from a smaller channel who was doing wild, crazy shit in the beginning. Now he's kind of going back to his roots. But in the beginning, he was just making videos, and then eventually he was like, I want to do this, I want to do that. So over the years, he's gotten stuff. He got in touch with people who can help him in his camp and all the other stuff like that. And eventually, there's people who stole his ideas. They became similar to Mr. Beast. You could call those Mr. Beast clones. But there's always been people like Mr. Beast before Mr. Beast, doing things on TV, doing things in radio, or anything like that. There's always been these people who have this money to give to people because they want to help, or they want to create content. It's always been around. But because of this YouTube culture, it has gotten extremely competitive. But being competitive is, part of the reason why there's more than one network. That's the reason why there's more than one streaming site. That's the reason why there's more than one streaming network. It's like, at the end of the day, there's always going to be competition, either from companies or from individuals. But remember this: if it's YouTube, right? There's people competitive into YouTube. They're making money, but then, who owns YouTube? Google. But then there's also competition between Google and Yahoo. But then you get to those other points. Who owns Google? Who owns Yahoo? Or this and this and this and this and this and this. And it's the same thing with TV shows or TV networks. Who owns CBS? Who owns NBC, ABC? But then You go down to who owns what. Then you got Disney, ABC. You got everything that Disney has and this connects to YouTube, or you have everything that Paramount has and it connects to CBS or this and this and this, CBS, NBC, Viacom, MTV, blah, blah, blah. It's always these competitive things, and it's not, I'm not saying at that point people are stealing content ideas, but people are making similar shows to get those people who are going to that content that they see on this channel and or they saw on this network or they saw it on this, and they try to make that better and to get those people to their network and their people, and then it just repeats the same cycle. That's the way of life. The way of life is entertaining people, and then eventually there's going to be somebody who wants to do the same thing. They're going to show how I'm a jester, yada yada yada. Come see me, and then they're going to start talking about that. It's always the same exact thing. People do this and people do that. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. I'm losing track of what I'm saying, but it's half the time I think it's a misunderstanding, and a lot of the time. It's also the lack of communication when it comes to what's getting to what person's screen. Now, if you go on Facebook and you go through the Instagram Reels or whatever they show you now, you're going to see people repost videos from another person's creator, and they don't give them any credit. And then when that person finds out, oh, that's my video, then in the comments they're trying to defend, this is not your video, this is this person's video. And sometimes the people who stole that content or just basically was posting it on their channel or their account to praise that, hey, this person is good, this person is happy, this person is fun, check this out, and did not give the credit, and they didn't do it on purpose, well, then that's on them. But now if people don't have a decent team, and obviously nobody's going to have a team to help somebody look through their videos that people stole from them, because again, it's either smaller creators or new people who's just getting up, and then somebody sees the traction that they're getting, and then they're going to take advantage of that just to make money. And again, it's from the troll community, it's from the miscommunication industry, and it's also from the people who just love to stir shit up because they like to see the reaction. That's called psychopaths. At the end of the day, stealing content is just there. I don't see how it can change. It kind of like hurts creators, and it hurts people who want to contribute to these people, and there's people who always going to support creators. Either they have to create a Patreon or create something, or people have to pay to know that this is coming from them, and then when you pay for something, obviously, most likely they'll have a copyright protection. I think the only way to fix anything is to trademark your stuff, copyright it. But some people don't have that idea when they start on doing videos on TikTok. They start doing videos on YouTube. They don't think like, oh, before I start my process of turning on my camera, editing my video, and uploading it to the internet, I need to go ahead and make sure that I set up a copyright for my video. I need to make sure I make a copyright for my photos, because half of these sites they give you protections, but they don't explain it fully that they gave you protection, but a good portion is owned by them. And lucky enough, that's fine. If like I know for a fact, if I post a picture on Instagram that somehow, some way it could be protected, cool. But I think TikTok is slowly trying to change that, where they give you protections a little bit for creators. And I think once you get to those higher tier versions of like Facebook and Instagram as well, and all the other stuff, I think they give you options to help protect your content and help protect your copyright. And I like that option, because if somebody went ahead and reposted your stuff, you don't have that option. And I see that you can't really download a lot of videos on TikTok unless they give you that option. And I think it's the same thing as Reddit, like pictures and videos and stuff like that. You cannot download unless that creator says you can. And same thing as embedding and all the other stuff. But people find ways to get around it. Either they record their screen, or they go through the whole little code option they have on the computer, and they can find the code itself and download it that way, because again, it's still a video or a photo that's uploaded to the internet, and there's ways for people to get into it. It's always going to be that way. But I feel as though the only way you can really protect yourself from people stealing content, stealing anything like that, is to simply protect your content, protect your work. And that's the same thing when with that's why there's these protections out here for writers and actors, and that's why this whole little crazy thing is going on with this strike is going on, because they're trying to protect AI. They're trying to protect their jobs from AI, and they're trying to protect their jobs because it feels as though that the higher ups are making more money than the actors. Higher ups are making more money than the writers. The higher ups are making more money than the people who are literally risking their lives to film and record these movies and TV shows and going out and promoting it, going through all the crazy shit. And then you know who basically profits from all of that? The overlords of the media. I understand the last episode I was supposed to talk about fully YouTube, but at the end of the day, once companies see that there's this potential that they have people who make decent content, they don't care, and they know for a fact they're not going to be able to get to every person. So how about they just take everything that they're doing, give them their little thingies, and basically make money from off of them for a little bit. And that's what happened. And overall, it either turned people into billion-dollar stars, or they turned themselves into people who live inside a townhouse in South Jersey, struggling to just get back on top. Or get on top. Pause. But that's pretty much today's episode. Episode 3. As you can tell, I calmed myself down. I wasn't as angry. I was only angry in the last episode because I feel as though the whole YouTube crap and the internet stuff, it's like you can't hide, and you can't fight, you can't do any of these things, because if you're not in the right profession, or if you're not with the right team, you can't just go ahead and just like hurt somebody if they did something wrong to a kid, and that's fucked up. Because if somebody told me, somebody down the street doing some crazy shit, I'm gonna go ahead and get everybody together, and we're gonna go to that motherfucker's house, knock on the door, and we can get the police involved, but before then, we're gonna fuck this dude up. That's how it's gonna have to be. But the law you gotta let the law take it. You gotta let the law take care of it, because if you don't, then you're looking like an asshole. That's just the culture that we live in. So, but yeah, go ahead, check out the last episode, and tell me what you think. I don't know how to end these podcasts. Again, give me some suggestions. I know that I'm slowly gathering almost close to a consistent listener base. I'm trying to fix up the social media stuff. It's a lot of work, because I'm still in a lot of negotiations with FouAVO stuff, and I know my production business is a small business, which support black-owned businesses, please support the black-owned businesses. Come on, we struggling, bro. We struggling. We need a little bit of change, spare change, man. Come on, spare a little bit of change. But anyway, I don't know what else to say. Is this to the people who actually enjoyed this show? Thank you. So follow me on social media at This Is Dion 14. If you want to support me, there's always a questionnaire or a question on Spotify, since this show is technically a Spotify show. Go ahead. I'm eventually debating on switching all my podcasts to Amazon. Not Amazon. I'm eventually switching all my podcasts officially to Apple, and then upload there, and then go around to all the other ones. But definitely go ahead and check out the podcast. Check out 100% Random, where we're coming back eventually. I don't know, but with that being said, thank y'all so much, and enjoy the rest of your day, and drink some water. Okay.
This is a FouAVO Studio podcast.